Hello. Today we are talk about stereotypes of Vietnamese. And first of all, we would like to introduce our group. We have 5 members: Lưu Thùy Trang, Nguyễn Thị Thảo, Nguyễn Thị Trang, Trần Thị Thu Trang, and Nguyễn Thị Anh Thơ. To commence with, we have table of contents. We have 5 contents. 1. Definition of the term stereotypes. 2. The origin of 3 stereotypes. 3. Stereotype Vietnamese people are good at numerous subjects. 4. Vietnamese people have a great bonus of foreign goods. And final, 5. The saying Vietnamese are outdated in merely a stereotype or objectivity. Okay, let's get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Nguyễn Thị Anh Thơ. Today I want to talk about the stereotypes, including definition of the term stereotype and why do we make it. And what are stereotypes? According to psychologist Gordon Approach, stereotypes are set beliefs about the characteristic of a group of people. It comes from subjective judgment. Stereotypes have existed for a long time and can be reflected in the realities of life. For example, that people are very smart or brilliant are always less. And stereotype can also develop into prejudice. It can lead to negative behavior towards a group of people. An example of this is sedition, also known as chọn nam khinh nữ. Men will be valued, respected, and appreciated more than women in all aspects of social life. So why do we make it? It depends on the fact that our brains is an automated process that allows us to quickly visualize and predict the behavior of others. Stereotypes are like mental shortcuts. However, the problem is that we can easily make inaccurate judgment about someone based on the stereotype we think they express. And where does stereotype originate? One theory is that stereotypes are created by cultural influence. We observe the cultural environment and then make judgment about a person or a group of people through it. From the above, as humans, we conduct visual research to classify prejudices through 3 issues about Vietnamese culture. The first is Vietnam people are good at many subjects. The second is that Vietnamese people have great needs for their goods. The third is Vietnamese are outdated. Next, please come to the presentation of Nguyễn Thảo.
Hi everyone, my name is Nguyễn Thị Thảo. What are the origin of the culture? Whilst you are today, let's learn about the origin. The first Vietnamese people are good as the nominal subject. because each country, each religion will have a different way of raising children, and their ideas are also different. When teach children to be independent in early age and foster necessary physical and intellectual skill. Today, confronting influence from the past education were organized of select marriages, telling people to have the king rule of the country and manage society. They are agnostical, the passing process or honor child is a part the when contact had to grow three them thì thơ thì hội and thì đình is the mode of an conference exam had to buy a future as a talent pupil. And children also and these days children also need to study well and many aspects to be considered excellent pupil and it as it in educational through this day. The Vietnamese people have had a full need for their goods since the mid 1919 thanks to the economic development the đổi mới period. And the class of so characteristic appear in Vietnam. Their people have good financial ability as the need of your high-end goods and want to as themselves. So have to look for items with a famous for right brand. And why do Vietnamese people don't like to do imported brand? That's a symbol because that the Vietnam domestic brand have not yet made a strong impression on customers. Therefore, it's not possible to blame Vietnamese customers to being fertile, but it is necessary to properly recognize the current situation of supply and demand in order to be able to complete and develop. And the three Vietnamese people, Vietnamese are outdated in our country is deeply influenced by Confucianism and feudalism. And Confucianism, though still see today, the concept of having to a son continues the nihilist. To also deeply rooted in custom, practice, and tradition, not based on any scientific basis. In the past future would due the influence of the French ecological period lasts from 61 years. More or less Vietnamese culture and influence as the see today. And nowadays, Vietnamese people have to acquire new things and gradually have a new idea from scratch. In addition, the Vietnamese Italian crystal assimilation, some will still retain special culture feature. The partial children must have to duty the civil and be filial to their parents. Common example are a son will have to take care of his parents in our age and take care of the annual anniversary of his death to fulfill his filial piety. The next our plantation in Nguyễn Thu Trang.
Hello everyone, my name is N02. I will introduce you about the first stereotype. Vietnamese people are good at numerous subjects. In advance, the stereotype Vietnamese people are good at numerous subjects is not always true and creates unnecessary misconceptions. It's rare for someone to be conviction in history, geography, math, physics, and literature and still have good physical activities. There are many persuasive arguments in some subjects against this stereotypes. Firstly, many individuals automatically appreciate Vietnamese people as good at math when Vietnamese people win many prizes in math competition. However, Vietnamese students currently learn math only only 2/3 of Thailand's, 1/2 of China's, and most Vietnamese people are not good at math, but they are good at solving math. We know that in the ranking of the contributions of countries in the world to science and technologies from BBC News, Vietnam is ranked in the last group. The reason is that while high school math teach too much to sub-large, university math is too lacking. High-tech and engineering majors require a strong math background, but many university students have poor math solving skills compared to high school students. Secondly, the English proficiencies of Vietnam students is decreasing day by day. According to the website vietnamnet.vn, in the rankings released recently by the EF English Proficiencies Index, in 2020, Vietnam ranked 473 per 800 point, ranked 13 per 24 in Asia and 65 per 100 countries and regions in the world. The survey was conducted in the form of an online quiz of nearly 2.2 million adults from 100 countries and territories where English is not their first language. In addition, in an article on the website of the American Immigrant Policy Institute, Vietnamese immigrants have a slightly lower level of education than other ethnicity and Native Americans. In 2014, about 25% of Vietnamese immigrants at the age of 25 and older had a bachelor's degree or higher, compared with the 29% of the population of other foreign immigrants and 30% of Americans. About their view on these stereotypes from people of various nations, many foreigners believe that Vietnamese people are good at numerous subjects. According to the website dan.vn, American Davis and astonished because Vietnamese people study well, and Vietnam is considered a relatively low-income country compared to other countries, but Vietnam has surprised the foreign communities, including America, with its strong education. Now let's continue with the next presenter, Nguyễn Thị Trang.
Hello, my name is Nguyễn Thị Trang. So now I will explain stereotype. Vietnamese people have a great fondness for foreign goods. To commence with, stereotype Vietnamese people have a great fondness for foreign goods is not always true and appropriate. First and foremost, according to the website truyền hình thanh hóa.vn, it is a fact that many individuals are highly subjective when assessing that the Vietnamese market is a playground for foreign goods. In other words, they see it in the most superficial of things. Electrical products and fashion items are typical examples. These are markets in which domestic production does not engage, or only participates in an outsourced role, or does not have sufficient production capability. However, a regular consumer's life does not revolve merely around these surface. There are numerous additional items such as food and foodstuff products that the normal person requires on a daily basis, and the vast majority of these items are still Vietnamese. Furthermore, according to the research results in the Global Report on the National Origin of Plants published in 2016 by AC Nielsen, more than 2/3 of Vietnamese consumers believe that domestic enterprises can better meet their demands. Half of surveyed consumers will choose indigenous products, 48% instead of products of foreign enterprises, 9%. This shows that Vietnamese consumers have preferred domestic goods over international ones. So now let's see views on this stereotype from people of various areas. First of all, let's watch this video.
Chọn lâu bởi vì không biết giải thích thế nào, nhưng mà mình không thể nói chung, mà là mình đã gặp rất nhiều người Việt và mỗi người đều có tính cách riêng của họ. Mình không thể nói chung được. For many different reasons. For example, when I say to people I'm French, first in Vietnamese people say, "Oh yeah, keep Saint Laurent, Joe," and you know everything. They can bring me they know all the brand of stuff. But I think also that's every foreign product is assimilated to quality product. And for example, if I say to some friends, "Oh, I'm going to France," I say, "Oh, wait, can you bring me that? Can you bring me that?" Especially on a product from the pharmacy. And I think because Vietnamese people don't really trust the medicine here, and that's why they prefer to buy abroad when they know it's really good quality stuff. Cô Thành ngữ Việt Nam cho thấy là ở nhà Tây ăn cơm tàu và lấy vợ nhà, đúng không ạ? Chắc là từ xưa thì Việt Nam là xính ngoại.
Yeah, according to this video, most foreigners believe that Vietnamese people are xenophilic, but another one opines that each individual has their own characteristics and that they should not be equated. That's all my presentation, so now let's move on to the next part of our presentation. Liu Thủy-Trang.
Okay. The saying Vietnamese are outdated is merely a stereotype or objectivity. So, Liu Thủy-Trang. There are multiple people who suppose that Vietnamese people are extremely outdated, while a few individuals disagree with this view. In my perspective, I partially agree with this. To improve my point, I would elaborate on the change in family. First and foremost, changes in family structure. In the feudal period, the men were ahead of the family and had the right to decide all important affairs in the family. Meanwhile, women had to obey their husbands. They do not have the right to make decisions. The reason is that this period was influenced by Confucianism. The women in the family always had to follow the 3 obedience and 4 virtues. 3 obedience is when someone who stays at home must follow their father. If they get married, they must follow their husband. And when their husband dies, they must follow their sons. Thus, in any situation, women are dependent. 4 virtues are the beauty standards of ancient women. Women must be skillful at work, in works, and they must be beautiful and gentle. During the transition to socialism, the family structure changed. In this period, gender equality between males and females was much higher than in the previous period. Women were liberated from the invisible genes of the old society. A clear example is monogamy instead of men being allowed to have many wives. Therefore, the decision-making power in family will change in more positive direction. Females are increasingly treated equally and have more condition to develop and improve their society standards. Their role in life and in production is becoming more and more important. The family bonding is also gradually shared from both sides. Gender equality in particular and equality in general is respected, making each person happy and develop freely without being bound in traditional society prejudices. And finally, in addition, in this period, single families become more popular than in the previous period. A single family means a family that does not have both families and children. The structure of single families may like a parent. There is another type of single family, which is a family with husband and wife who do not have offspring or do not intend to have offspring for some reason.
Yeah. In general, stereotypes are always present around us in everyday life. It is one side, and they are often inaccurate and unfair. Thorough usual that we raise, it can be seen that there are still some people who look at the people of Vietnam through their own prejudice without having an objective view. From there, they will have erroneous view and misjudgment about an issue or someone. Individuals have their own characteristic which should not be equated. Therefore, we need to understand all aspects carefully before making comments and assessment about something in order to be able to give the more objective and correct view. In my opinion, we should have a solution to deal with these situations. The government should focus on investing in education, propaganda, and eliminating negative and backward thinking. For example, in education, if a student is feeling depressed about studying or has a bad academic performance, instead of blaming or forcing, parents should encourage their children and support them. Or in the matter of Vietnamese people being foreigners, we should propagate and promote Vietnamese goods. Since that when it has been Vietnamese, surely the idea of foreigner will also decrease a step. Yeah. Our group presentation and here. Thank you for listening.